Hey everybody, I would like to thank you for coming to the live event. It is 11 a.m. and what I'm going to do here is talk about CBD, talk about HEMPWORX CBD oil and products, and we will you'll be able to watch this in its entirety after I'm finished. This will probably go perhaps around an hour. So I'm going to get right into it. I did it yesterday, but there were some things I left out, and I wanted to redo it. So I'm going to get right into it. The format will be that I'm going to be reading from some documents that I researched and to get answers to the most frequent questions, and then I'll add my 2 cents on some. And the nice thing about using Facebook Live is that we can go back to it and stop and re-listen to things, okay? There's a lot of interest in CBD. The cannabis movement has made a big push in the last 5 years, you notice, where there are more states becoming medically legalized marijuana. So the whole industry as a whole has changed, and it's still federally illegal. So fortunately, through the research and everything, they were able to come up with CBD oil out of that in a totally legal fashion without the without the THC potency. We will get right into it right now. What is CBD? CBD is a naturally taking place constituent, and it's also the most abundant non-psychoactive cannabinoid. I'm going to pronounce it cannabidiol. I always you'll hear me mention it, pronounce it 10 different ways. It is the most abundant non-psychoactive cannabidiol found in marijuana and is being scientifically investigated for numerous reasons. CBD oil or marijuana oil, whether derived from cannabis or industrial hemp, as the word marijuana is Latin for the genus, for both, actually covers hemp and marijuana, but marijuana is the actual Latin word where the both products come from. Our CBD items and extracts are stemmed from commercial hemp, so they could be considered CBD-rich hemp oil, hemp-obtained CBD oil, CBD-rich cannabis oil, or plainly hemp extracts. Because they generally contain much more than CBD, and once again, cannabis doesn't suggest marijuana, however, it is the genus name, and generally umbrellas the term of all cannabis and hemp fall under. The form of cannabis we utilize for our CBD and hemp extracts is commercial hemp. A lot of people ask what are the best ways to take their oil. They're hearing it in creams, they're hearing it about it in oils. Some places sell gummy bears and things like that. The preferred way to take CBD oil, or at least in general, it should be the industry depending on quality, but if it's a high quality CBD oil like HEMPWORX is, you want to take it under the tongue sublingually. That will give about 98% absorption rate into the bloodstream. Some people like to vape it, and you can actually vape the product. There's different stories and realms of thought about how much less CBD or more CBD you're going to get, but it's definitely something people do. It's also definitely something that you can research about. In fact, on the if you're watching this on the Fibro page, my page on Facebook, because this will be going to YouTube as well, but if you join my HEMPWORX for Fibro page on Facebook, you'll be able to see videos of the CBD oil and how it works with vaping and how it also works with fibromyalgia and other conditions. But that particular page is sort of concentrates mainly on the fibromyalgia part. Okay, so most people will use the drops. This is what ours looks like. This is the HEMPWORX 750. Boom, put in the dropper. Take your dosage, which we'll talk about now, and It's just that easy. That happens to be the peppermint flavored, and it's natural peppermint. We don't have 10 million different flavors, because you want to stay away from getting into the artificial sweeteners, because they're not only not the greatest for you, but can also affect the CBD strength. Okay. All right. So we talk about dosing. They've got recommended dosing through HEMPWORX. I think I'm a little more conservative, like a lot of affiliates are with people. The stuff's not that cheap, and we don't want you to go through it unnecessarily. So what we tell people is simple as starting with 5 quick drops, bum, 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 under the tongue in the morning, 5 at night. Do that for about a week and just see how you feel. How is it affecting you? Do you feel better? Do you feel like, okay, I'm not feeling a big difference? We tell everyone to the second week to up it to 10 drops in the morning, 10 at night, and then that'll be a very good gauge for 99% of the people as to where you're at. Now, you might say at 10 drops, wow, I feel fantastic. Depending on who you are, you may want to cut back to 7 or 8 drops, saving a little bit of it and seeing if you have the same effect. It's really, anyone that tells you that this is the amount to take is doing you a disservice. This is an all-natural product, and to say that you are exactly the same as another fibro patient or another person suffering with back pain, suffering with MS, suffering with spasms in their back, they're doing you a disservice. No two people are alike, and the majority of people get a benefit from these drops, and there are some people that may not. Anybody that tells you anything different about anything natural will be, I won't say lying, but doing a disservice is how we respectfully say it. So when it comes to you finding out more about HEMPWORX, if it interests you enough to talk to me, we will talk in depth, one-on-one. That's another nice thing. You're not dealing with a company where you're just reading words. You'll be dealing with me and talking to me. So we'll build a relationship, and you can talk to a real person, which is always nice. And I'm on here as much as possible because actually give you a little background. I probably should have started with this, but my wife has very severe arthritis, knee pain. She had a medical history where she had kidney failure, severe liver damage, and thank the Lord that she's doing a lot better now. But she also had a problem with ulcers that affected the organs because of taking so much over-the-counter pain medicine, okay? And I'm not even talking opiates. She's currently still on an opiate that doesn't, I mean, it's oxycodone, and it's one of the stronger ones, but it just doesn't do what it did before. I have a friend that is an affiliate just like I am that I was talking to on Facebook normally, and I started to see that she was selling this HEMPWORX stuff. I saw it, and I've always had an interest in hemp, and, you know, I'll be honest with you, back when I was younger, pot and stuff, you know, I think that it should be legal, and that's my personal thing. But aside from that, I started to tell her about my wife. She was asking, you know, once we reconnected about, oh, we married and all that kind of stuff you do on Facebook, and gave her the spiel, and she told me about the hemp, and I said, oh, you know, I told her about my wife's medical health conditions and things, and she sent me out some information packet. I said, ah, what the heck, let's give it a try. So I purchased some, and it really has my wife is very skeptical and comes from an education background, and they have no relationship whatsoever except in a negative way with anything. She came from an urban school system, so anything drug related back in the day when marijuana was considered a dangerous thing and all that kind of stuff, she just wasn't connected to that at all. So she was very skeptical and everything else. I told her what this product was, that it doesn't contain enough THC to be psychoactive. She said, at this point, I'll try anything because I just don't want to keep taking more and more oxycodone because I'm going to get, they're getting stricter about it. We all know that. And the fact that you just don't want to keep taking pills. It rips your guts out. All you have to do is listen to all the side effects on a commercial. You know, when you know that you have to be very careful and smart when it comes to pharmaceutical products, not because they're all bad by any means. They have a place and they can help people, But when you're looking for medicine for your depression, and one of the side effects is that it may cause depression, you know, judge for yourself. I don't know. Like I said, everybody is different. That's why they have to have all those precautions, I guess. So, long story short, she needed, we did the oil. It was working tremendous for her, is working tremendous. She takes it twice a day. She takes about 6 or 7 drops in the morning, 6 or 7 at night. She is going on her 2.5 month exactly today. And she, 2.5 months. And she will notice, this is the real test, and this is for anybody watching this, and you probably will understand why this is the greatest test. Because we feel different every day, sometimes it's hard to gauge how something might be helping you, but this is something that came up, and it's just fantastic for anybody listening, is that we ran out. I ran out before I was able to get more financially. And within a day or two, she had the same pain back, and she just said, "Wow, the real difference I notice about what this is doing for me is when I don't have it, the pain comes back." That might sound like a sales line. I don't mean it that way. That is her words, and that's just fantastic because, you know, it shows that it works. Okay. And therefore, I started, okay, so let's just continue real quick. I'm going to try to not let this drag out too much longer. Well, I'll do my best, let's put it that way. But I want this to be informative. I want you to be able to watch it in parts. If you can't watch it all now or it's all sinking in, watch it on the replay. It worked so good for her, I said, she's never going to go without this again because how good it worked for her. So I became an affiliate, starting to sell it, working hard at it. And I'm getting sales, and I actually have enough and more to pay for her next dose and some income started for me. This isn't a pitch about joining as an affiliate. I'm just giving you an idea. Why am I selling it? That is this is the last thing I'll say about being an affiliate. With so many places that sell stuff, I'll use Amway as an example. I shouldn't really use names of places. I'll use places that you're familiar with. You might have to buy $200 worth of product and have on a shelf. You know how many people have toilet paper, shampoo, vitamins sitting in their shelves because they have to buy X amount to pay the person above them, and then the person below that's buying that same amount, they get a commission from, that kind of thing. It's multi-level marketing. It's multi-level marketing done in a bad way. We do multi-level marketing, but the reason is, the difference is we use the product. This product goes down, we have to buy more. And if I'm consulting people and make money to help pay for it, that's a true MLM. And that's the difference. I don't have a cupboard full of these that I have to buy every month. These work, and they are going to be purchased, and I'm going to earn the money to purchase them by selling them because we believe in them. You don't necessarily always believe. I hope everyone believes in toilet paper, but you know what I'm saying, you don't have a big passion for toilet paper. You know what I mean? It's because of that. All right, that's it for that. I don't want this to turn into one of those things. This is about CBD. This is about hemp. Hi, kitty. So I will get right back to this. How are HEMPWORX oils superior? Our products are non-GMO, non-genetically modified. They are made in the USA and very rich in raw materials. We are confident in our products because we utilize the full spectrum cannabis plant, and our customers will get better results with our products than others in the marketplace. Friends, no two oils are created alike. I spoke to a young lady this morning, and she is getting it from a place that I did a little research on, and they use the terminology that it's made in hemp-friendly countries, which means it is not made in the USA, and also means that the FDA does not have any power in a different country to make sure that that manufacturing plant, the extraction process, and everything else meets their levels. Now, the FDA does not approve of CBD as just like any vitamin you would buy, because it is considered legal because of the 0.03%. and under, it can be manufactured, but the FDA doesn't have to regulate it. But they do have to regulate the buildings, the sanitary conditions, the process of something, okay? And that's what you get. Ours are all mandatory. Hopefully every company does, goes by their guidelines. So this person that this was mentioning, this other stuff was made in another country. You don't know what the soil was. You don't know what the strain of hemp was. You don't know, although I think it did say it was pesticide free and herbicide free. That means post growing, as opposed to knowing what's in the soil. Okay. And that's all. And also, it was water soluble. The agent that carries the oil when it's separated. Oh, here's another thing. It had a green tint to it, and a green tint is indicative of chlorophyll, which means, like I said, I'm not going to say the names of these products, but it sounds like it was more of a juicing of a hemp plant, where you would get the nutrition. Excuse me, I stutter a little bit, so you'll have to forgive me. The nutrition, as opposed to the CBD value, the full spectrum cannabinoid profile. That word, I'll never learn how to say that word. I talk to 50 people a day, and I will never learn how to say it properly. Cannabidiol is how I want to say it. But are your products safe? Yes. Oh, by the way, relation to the last thing on that, forgive me for jumping around a little bit, but that last story about that lady who had that other oil, she had the 300 milligram. Ours come in 500 and 750. She had the 300, and it was priced $20 less. And ours is a higher quality, the way it's processed, a higher extraction process, a higher quality. Grown in Kentucky or Colorado, and so she had 200 milligrams less of CBD. Don't even know if it was full spectrum or not. I believe there was a water soluble agent which affects the quality and the absorption, and I believe that it was, like I said, $20 less. So I mean, you're getting better quality, and really in relation to the strength, not even the quality, you're getting a higher strength. 300, let's put it this way, we sell products for our pets, and our pets of CBD infused products, we sell a cookie and we sell an oil for a lot of dogs with arthritis and seizures benefit from it, is that that strength is 250 of our full spectrum. So she was using only 50 milligrams more, and it wasn't even full spectrum. I can remember that for sure. And their extraction process, which you'll be learning about in a second here, it just said extracted. It did not say the terminology that is indicative of higher quality extraction, which means you're taking the benefits of that plant, taking the most out the best way possible to ensure potency, ensure you're getting the full spectrum, as opposed to some places. Like you can go into the grocery store, and I'll talk about that probably right now. Actually, I should just go into it here, and you'll see that there's differences between hemp seed oil and hemp oil. If you notice in that description earlier when I was mentioning the different things it could be called, like hemp-rich oil, cannabis oil, marijuana oil, that nowhere did it say hemp seed oil. And there'd be, because it almost will be, and I'm going to sort of go over it, but like having an orange, having the seeds of the orange and saying, okay, I want the benefits of this orange, but I'm only going to eat the seeds. You'll get some nutrition, but you're not going to get the full spectrum, the sweetness, the whole body of what that nutritious orange can do for you. You're eating the seeds, and that's what pressed hemp seeds are. You're getting oil from the seeds. You want the plant. You want the mature hemp plant. You want the most of the plant that can be used for it without the THC. And that's how hemp is grown now. But here we go. So what's the difference between CBD oil and the products I can buy at a grocery store? Hemp products sold in stores are most often made with hemp seed oil, which contain only trace amounts of CBD. While it has been noted that hemp seed oil can be a great source of nutrition, its marginal quality of CBD per weight makes it unfeasible as a CBD supplement. Our CBD hemp oil, however, is extracted from the stalk of specifically selected hemp cultivators, offering higher percentages of CBD by weight and additional nutritional benefits from the contents of our oil. It's a quality product. Not all oils are created equally. Not all oils are bad that are not HEMPWORX. There's different schools of thought. Some people want the flavors because the natural stuff to a lot of people just tastes so awful. I don't think it tastes awful. My wife doesn't think it tastes awful. It just doesn't taste great. You know, I'm not paying for cherry chocolate sundae flavored CBD oil. I'm paying for something that's going to work. And it's not that bad. To me, it's a little earthy. You know, what you don't want is you don't want something that tastes like you're eating a bale of hay. If it tastes like you're eating a bale of hay, if you've ever eaten a bale of hay, I haven't. That's, again, you can tell that's a little bit more of the chlorophyll is in there. If you ever smelled a bale of hay, you would, or seen a green bale of hay, that's the chlorophyll. But we do offer the peppermint flavor, and it's natural peppermint. It's a hint of peppermint. It's not like you're going to be eating a candy cane. It's a hint of peppermint that makes a few drops under the tongue that lasts there for a minute or two, a little more pleasurable. We get the peppermint because we like the peppermint. It smells like she's drinking schnapps, so I got to double check the bottle once in a while, make sure she's not affecting that liver. But you know what I'm saying. So we went over a little bit about all that. There's been some rumors that the FDA has been shutting down some of the CBD companies. They have warned a few top companies. They have not warned HEMPWORX whatsoever because we're meeting their standards. And that's the big thing. We're meeting their standards. We were not among the companies warned by the FDA, and as an industry leader, we make it a point to remain conservatively compliant with all FDA guidelines. We never make claims about the benefits of our product and instead encourage you to do your own research and discuss your concerns with your doctor before any dietary supplement. Quick side story, my wife went to the doctor. We live in a totally, well, I shouldn't say totally. We live in a medical marijuana state. However, the medical marijuana process really hasn't got going yet. It's very limited, and there's very limited diseases that it can be used to even get. And I don't even think fibromyalgia is on their list. I mean, it's pretty hardcore advanced cancer people that are letting have the marijuana, and that's it. But there's been some. I just wanted to give you that background, and then tell you that. There's this is done in, let's see, this is made, the processing plant is made in Las Vegas, and I think they're the same with the medical, but in any case, the facilities are being looked at, and the FDA is looking at these facilities, and they're getting very strict on them, as they should be. Any place that's making something, whether it's a vitamin, whether it's a hemp oil, whether it's a marijuana, other marijuana product with THC, you want to make sure that they're done in the most sanitary of places. So we have not been warned, nor are we, this company is not going to risk their reputation whatsoever. There's too many lower companies out there. They're going to remain an industry standard. And even if you say, hey, you guys are $10, $20 more, we can look at all those things, the ingredients, the processing, the quality, and you'll realize that it's really not. You're paying for something. It's the difference between a little Pinto car or a Mercedes-Benz in most cases. What's the difference between hemp and marijuana? Let me just take a look at how long I'm going here. 25 minutes, just about. Thank you for staying with me. If you're watching this, I hope you'll watch it in its entirety. What's the difference between hemp and marijuana? Scientifically, industrial hemp and marijuana are the exact same plant. With the genus and species name of Cannabis sativa, they have a drastically various hereditary profile, though, which means they're the same family of plant, but they are two different things. You can say a strawberry and a blueberry are both berries. They're both fruit, but they are two entirely different things. So I want you to get over the fact, if you think that this is marijuana, it is not. It comes from the same family, but it is not, or it would not be legal to sell in all 50 states, because it has the amount of THC is less than half of 1%. It's 0.03. It is not enough to be psychoactive in somebody's system. Industrial hemp is a strain of cannabis sativa, while marijuana could be cannabis sativa, cannabis indica, cannabis ruderalis, a bunch of different strains and things like that as well. The significant distinction is how commercial hemp has actually been reproduced compared with marijuana form of cannabis. Generally speaking, industrial hemp is really fibrous with long stalks and hardly has any flowering buds. The buds on a marijuana plant are what get you high. That's why somebody say, hey, you want to go smoke some bud? And that's the flower. The bud is the flower. The hemp has smaller flowers and is being grown, which I'll say in a minute here, being grown specifically for the purpose of having high CBD profile, less than 0.3% THC, or it will be illegal and no good and we couldn't sell it. And you don't need the CBD or the THC. I'll speak about that for a second. Let me just mark my spot. A lot of people are under the impression that you need to have THC in a fair quantity along with the CBD to get the benefits of pain relief and anxiety relief and some insomnia relief and stress relief and muscle spasm relief and seizure relief, and even reports about slowing of cancer. The fact of the matter is THC is what gets you high, and it works wonderful somebody with an oil, or it can work in conjunction with a quality oil, but the marijuana itself, although having high THC will make you feel stoned, it would be no really different than you take an extra Oxycontin or something, and you feel good because you're high, but that high lasts a half hour, and you're right back in pain. Most marijuana strains are not made for medical grade, which means high CBD profile. So you don't have to have the THC. The CBD profile that is what actually healing your endocannabinoid system, your internal system, which we'll talk about. While marijuana is cannabis sativa, will be a smaller sized, bushier, and filled with buds. That's the marijuana. However, more recent industrial hemp ranges in the USA are being bred to have more flowers and greater yields of cannabidiols and terpenes. Terpenes are what gives it how can I word, flavor and other nutrients that are in it. It's it's additional to the cannabidiols, and they're actually, you'll see somebody had last week showed me a bottle of something that they were on and complaining that it didn't work, and it was 100 milligram. Again, we use 250 for our pets, and it said terpenes with CBD. Folks, if you're going to buy something that's CBD oil, it should say CBD first everywhere. It should be almost part of it should be on the label. It shouldn't be anything with CBD. It should be CBD oil. Like ours is CBD oil with peppermint flavor, or CBD regular flavor, okay? And there's also an agent in it that carries the oil. You want to stay away from water soluble. You want to stay away from MCT, which is coconut oil. Why? Because it can break down the CBD and also affect the absorption. Okay, what do we use as our carrier agent? We don't use water. We don't use coconut oil. We use hemp seed oil. This is where we use the hemp seed oil. So you'll see on the label 3 ingredients. You'll see the hemp seed oil, the CBD, and peppermint flavor for this one. That's the only ingredients on the label, because we actually want to use more of that plant. There is nutrition in that hemp seed oil, and that's what we use to carry the CBD oil, that carries it in the drop. Okay, when you use that other stuff, you might be getting the flavoring, the sugar. Well, with the coconut oil, it's not a lot, but you're getting the fat, as well as fat soluble stuff can affect potency and affect how it's absorbed into your system. So we actually use yet another part of that same plant, the hemp oil, as the carrier. Let's see. 99% of the time, marijuana has a high amount of THC and just a really low of quantity of CBD. Hemp, on the other hand, naturally has a high quantity of CBD, and in many circumstances, only a trace amount of THC under that 0.03. When you're using the whole plant, it's almost equivalent to the when you buy a product, let's say crackers or something, and it says in small print that it's made in the same plant as peanuts. So there could be a trace of THC in there. Will it show up on a drug test? This is one of my last questions, but I'll just jump to it now since we're talking about the THC. In traditional urine tests and saliva tests, it doesn't show up. However, because there's different methods and different sophistications of drug testing, trace amount of that THC could show, okay? So what I tell everybody, and anybody that tells you different, again, either doesn't have the quality, if they can honestly say to you there will be no THC whatsoever, 100% zero THC, that either means that they're not using the product the way it should be used and manufactured. They're not getting the most out of that plant. Or they are lying to you. I would hope they're lying to you and not selling this product as being the best thing on the planet if it is not made properly from all the different steps from this time the hemp seed goes in the ground for the time that you take it to the dropper. It should be quality, and it should be safe. So what does that mean if you're in a job that drug tests? It could show up. All you have to do is go speak to the HR person, take your bottle, or show them my our website, and they can look at it and say, okay, it's legally on the under the amount. It'll be up to your company. I don't sell to anybody. I've had people ready to order, and then they'll say, oh, by the way, will it show up on a drug test? My company could test it any time. And then, you know, the salesman in me wants to say, no, it won't, because 99% of the time it won't. But the person that wants to be able to sleep at night with a clear conscience and a person of faith would be doing you an injustice if he didn't say, listen, don't order. Talk to your HR person first. Let me explain why. I don't want to lose you as a potential customer, but let me explain why, and why you don't want to jump to someone else that says that it's 100% zero and all that kind of stuff, okay? I sell through information. I sell through you learning and talking to me. It's not like I'm hard selling anybody. What I do want to, you know, is for them to buy a bottle so they try it and see that they might just have for the first time in a long time be pain. I don't want to say pain-free, but my wife didn't know I was going to ask her a question, so forgive me. What do you think, honestly, what percentage of pain relief have you gotten from starting this?
At least 80%.
She says at least 80%. Now, this is a person who has severe arthritic issues. Knees are bad, and like I said, she's had kidney and liver issues, spent significant time in the hospital, as well as physical rehab. There was no drug addiction other than that she was taking up to 12 leaves a day. Think about that, for doing that for a couple of years, how it's going to rip up your stomach and your organs. She now takes her 1 oxy in the morning, 1 at night, along with the oil, and she does pretty well. And if she's really hurting that night, we'll give her a little more oil. And if she's super hurting, and we'll give her an extra half oxy or something. But it's helped her. She thinks, honestly, about 80% of the pain is gone compared to what she had prior. That's my testimony. That's my reference. That's not words on a website from people that are selling it. And again, like I said earlier, I'm selling it, so she never goes without it. So the testimonials you get from people that are selling it, they're trying to make money so that they can buy it for themselves or for their loved ones to use, because they're seeing the benefits, not because it's something that you're going to put in your closet because you have to buy X amount of dollars every month. Okay? I hope you believe me. They have a pain relieving gel, or not gel, cream that is, I think, like an icy hint. It has a bunch of anti-aging stuff, but they're the pain one. There's 3 of them. There's relief, relive, relieve, and revive. Revive is like for skin and all that. I'm not going to get into all that, but the pain one, called relief, is an infused cream. I believe it's like a icy type of mint thing. I have not used it. My wife has not used it. I'm only going by what other people use it. And there's a video on my Hemp for Fibro page, HEMPWORX for Fibro, or HEMPWORX for Fibro page, I should say. I'm sorry, I got so many pages. That has a video. You'll get a kick out of it. It reminds me of the old time religious services at 3 in the morning when somebody gets healed. But there's a lady who's actually going to the doctor. She's an elderly lady. She can only lift her shoulder up about this high before she gets the pain, and she can't go any higher. And she wanted to take this cream into the doctor's office to show the doctor what was going on. And she came out after using it and was able to perform better. I'm not even going to tell you what happened. She was able to perform better. It's called something, I should have looked prior. Mrs. Josie goes to the doctor or something, but it's on the Hemp for Fibro page. Watch the video. You'll get a kick out of it, but you'll also be a little amazed. So we will leave that at there. Let me just look real quick, see if there's anything, because I don't want it to, I was trying to try to keep it under 30 minutes. I apologize. Let me jump right to stuff. I've concentrated so much on quality. I can go into a lot of the scientific stuff. I'm not going to do that. The extraction process, ask me about it if you want to know. I'll tell you exactly what I have here, but I'm not going to do it here because I want to wrap this up. What's the portion of cannabidiols and CBD in your products? All our CBD products have a high purity level. If you're buying our drops, there's anywhere from 500 to the 750. If you're buying the skincare products, we put just the right amount of CBD coupled with the most powerful anti-aging ingredients on the planet, give you visibly smooth skin and additional healing properties. Is hemp seed oil the same as high CBD hemp extract? No, we covered that. Where do we source our CBD, our hemp from? I'm sorry, where do we actually grow the plants? Like I said earlier, from our partnering farms and growers in Colorado and Kentucky. Those are the 2 places, and I think right now we are doing mainly Kentucky. I think Colorado is getting a little too expensive, and because there's so much competition out there for marijuana products, that we went with Kentucky as the 2nd best place, or equal place really as far as growing. In the old days, I'm going to tell you a funny story real quick. And you know, hemp itself can be used for products, rope, fuel. There's a laundry list of things. I don't want to say medicines because that's what we're doing, but used for so many products out there. You'd be amazed. It was primarily paper. You know, I mean, this stuff. What happened way back in the day was that the people who grew trees suffered because of hemp was taking the place of a lot of things that wood could do. And now, you know, it's making a resurgence. Back in the day, hemp was so valuable. And when I say back in the day, I want to say late 1800s, hemp was so valuable, it was illegal. It was illegal for them, if you had land, not to grow hemp because you're growing it for the country to use. It was actually illegal not to grow hemp. And then as populations grew, politicians grew, business grew, all of a sudden tree people didn't want the hemp grown, so they started, and lobbies started, and now, you know, the whole say no to drug things started, and they were classifying marijuana the same as heroin, and you know, I could go in for hours about that. But trust me, the almighty dollar is what it's at the bottom of any kind of corruption. And then look how big the pharmaceuticals are now. Can you imagine your insurance companies if all the scripts that you might get? I have a script for temazepam, sleeping pill. I have a script for diazepam, Valium. I have a script for venlafaxine. I used to have Prozac. It wasn't strong enough for me because I had a bunch of anxiety issues. I was in the hospital for a long time. I was over 150 pounds heavier at one point, less than 2.5 years ago. I had to have it up to the venlafaxine because although I look charming, debonair, and extremely handsome, in real life, I'm not one for crowds. I'm not one for going to Walmart in the holidays, tight spaces, all that kind of stuff. Talking to new people, I can do very well over the computer, but in a social setting, I'm the guy in the corner if I go to one at all. So I've been able to. And are you laughing? My wife's over there going. Yeah, she knows because how many times we've gone to a place like a restaurant and I have to go in first to check out see how many people are in there. Fortunately, I've been able to cut back on all this. Oh, I got hydrocodone over there. I forgot to bring over. That's my pain reliever. I'm able to use some of her drops now that I can afford a little more through selling it. I use her drops a little bit and I can cut this stuff into hardly using it. Once in a while I'll take an extra Valium at nighttime. But because I want her to, it's really her that's the oil is for, and I don't ever want her to go without it again. So we source from the best. We do a bunch of testing. Everything we have is proven, or I should say approved through FDA as far as the facility, not the actual product, because they don't touch the products in general. It's cruelty free. We're not trying anything on any animals, any of that stuff. We use a CO2 subcritical extraction. There's a whole science, 2 pages of it. I'm not going to go into it, but you can ask me about it. It's how it's extracted. Some people do want to know the science of it. Some guy asked me the other day about it, and I felt a little stupid because I didn't know the, advanced chemistry of it, and I was able to look it up for him, and I got back to him, and I believe he's going to be purchasing soon. He liked the idea that the extraction process is how we did it, and did it the most expensive way and not the cheapest way. Okay, folks. This is the last point. I'll be able to keep it under 45 minutes. That's 1 minute better than yesterday. Why do we need CBD oil? How does our body react to it? We have something called the ECS, an endocannabinoidal system inside us. We actually have receptors that are made to be activated or deactivated with CBD. Now, I might say, oh, that sounds like hooey. It's true. It's true. Research it. They discovered it in the 1980s. See, back in the day, way back in the caveman day, hemp was all over the place, and they were using it for everything. And our bodies, as we matured or evolved, however you want to word it, used hemp, and our body actually became craving it for our well-being. So that system is still in here, and we have CBD1, CBD2 receptors. I've got a lot more information on it. I'm going to wrap this up. You will not get high. It does not have, although it has that trace amount of THC, it does not have the psychoactive amount. It is 100% legal in the United States and over 40 different countries. The UK, Canada, I ship to without problem. If you're from Australia, talk to me first. If you're from any Middle Eastern countries, I think those are blocked. I think we're unable to ship there altogether, which would be Iran, Iraq, Syria, Yemen, all those type places. They do not allow it in the country. So I'm going to wrap this up by saying thank you for watching now. Thank you for watching this on a replay. Thank you for bearing with me, my stuttering, if I was long-winded. I wanted you to have this available to you. I am available for questions at any time. If you're going to write me right after this, watching this now, I will not be back for about an hour as I have to run to the store for my wife. And I will be back later, and I will be online, and you can talk to me. And don't worry about getting a hard sell. I want to inform you, and I want you to be able to say that you'd like to try the best oil on the planet, best CBD profile, the best way it's made. Thank you very much, and I will see you soon.